to the game. After a few go-arounds, we did hear someone collapse. I was ahead of where I heard it from, but I heard someone collapse. And then people started yelling for medic because they told you if you need a medic, yell medic, put your hand in the air, and the medics will come over to you. So ironically, apparently, they were bringing out a coffin at the same time that this person collapsed. It was not because the person collapsed that they brought out the coffin. That's extremely insensitive. They were bringing out the coffin for the people who got eliminated the first round for theatrical reasons, because that's what happened in the show. They brought out coffins. This person just happened to pass out at that very point in time. So, and they were the guards. The guards are not medics. They don't know what to do. So they're looking at this person and the medics are on their way. They're, of course, have to get through the door and get through the players. So they're not trying to like accidentally hit anyone, push anyone, make anyone lose their shot. $4.5 million. So they're making their way through. People are screaming for the medics. And I don't know what happened after that, but as soon as that first person went down, I'm just going to tell you that I was nervous. Everybody else around me was nervous. We were all just like kind of like moderately talking, like muttering. But it's weird because we were all so afraid to move that I don't know for sure if anyone helped that person. I think that they did. I believe that they did from the stories that I've heard. But 2 girls, about 2 more rounds after that, 2 people passed out physically on me. One girl in front of me, she decided to sit down because some people have the strategy to run and slide and lay down on the floor so they know that they could be still for about 10 to 15 minutes. Did not work for everybody. Because if you're still sliding by the time she's done singing, then, you know, you're still out. So the girl in front of me, she was sitting down and someone else had passed out behind me and we heard people yelling medic. And I just looked down because I'm counting spots on the floor at this point to keep myself sane throughout the 10 to 15 minute wait time. And she starts like moving. I'm like, girl, you better stay still or they're going to eliminate you. And she starts like then going in a circle. I'm like, okay. But I'm still terrified to move because I don't want to get eliminated. So I'm like talking to her through my teeth. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's like not responding to me at all. She's just like kind of doing this. So I took a chance because, like I said before, I stationed myself around people who were moving a lot. So I took a chance and I just slid my foot a little bit forward. And lo and behold, she passes out. She falls back. Her head lands on my foot. I was like, nice, caught ya. All right. So her head lands on my foot and I'm just telling her once again through my teeth, I'm like, are you okay? Can you breathe? Like, what's going on? She's like, I see spots. I'm like, okay. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Take nice deep breaths. You were sitting in a really weird position. Like, just try to breathe a little bit. And then I tell her, can you raise your hand and call medic? She's like, I don't know. Is my hand raised? Her hands were not raised. Her hands never moved. So I'm like, okay. And it sucks to say that I was thinking, do I raise my hand and call for a medic? Or do I let someone else do it and risk their shot at this money? And it makes me feel so bad that I felt that way. But they said on the loudspeaker, players, if you are trying to assist someone who needs medical attention, you will not be penalized. Raise your hand and call for a medic. I was like, whew. It almost seemed like the universe, God, whoever you believe in, heard what I was thinking and just said it on the loudspeaker. Like, you will not be penalized. So of course, okay, then I raise my hand and I yell for a medic. They come and they're like tending to her. And then over the loudspeaker, they say, okay, players, take a moment. You can relax. Do not move your feet. Do not move your feet. Do not move your feet is what they said. So I take time, like relax my shoulders, move them out, I'm not moving my feet at all. Turn around, I'm talking to some people behind me. And I look, the girl that's standing directly behind me, she's kind of standing like right behind my shoulder. I'm talking to her. And then she's like, so like, what did she say? Like she felt like, I was like, well, she said like she was seeing like some dark spots and stuff like that. And then I was like looking at the girl, her breathing started to change. I was like, Okay. What do you feel like? Okay, what are you feeling right now? She's like, yeah, well, I'm kind of seeing like some stars, but I think I'm just like a little tired. We've been standing for so long, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, do me a favor. I turned around, I was like, hold on to my arm. And she like grabs my arm and it literally feels like nothingness. I'm like, are you grabbing it? Are you holding on tightly? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm like, this girl is probably about to pass out. So I hold her under her arm. I'm like, just do me a favor, just like, lean on my arm. She's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, just lean on my arm. I can support you, I'm fine. This guy next to me is like, oh, do you want me to like try to hold her up? I was like, no, because no, you're not gonna be helping actually. Like you're actually gonna make it worse. And I didn't want to like stumble over or move because I did not want to move my feet. So I was like, no, I got her. So I'm just literally holding her up. I'm under her armpit and I'm like, my palm is like over her boob. I'm just like holding her up like this. And I'm like, you can do me a favor though, sir. You can call for a medic because she's literally gonna pass out. So the medics come over, she's like on my arm and they start to put her down on the ground so she can do whatever. She's like pulling my arm with her and I'm like kind of falling over. Like I don't move my feet yet, but I'm like, girl, you gotta get off me. So they get her off me and we're sitting there for probably like 20, closer to 30 minutes at this point, just like frozen in place. Our feet are frozen in place. And then they say, okay, players are gonna commence. People are getting back into their positions and resetting. And then you just hear like the squid packs go off. It's like pop, 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 all around us. And we're like, what the hell? And it's from the people who move their feet. Like they moved their feet out of place and they were getting back into position. But they specifically said, do not move your feet. So all those people were out. They were pissed, whatever. Not really understandable because they told you not to move your feet in the first place. So you were just taking liberties that you weren't supposed to. We continue with the game. This game is going on forever. It is literally the hardest thing mentally because you're freezing cold. You don't know what's happening next. People are collapsing and medics are being called here and there. We're not waiting for 10 to 15 minutes. We're waiting for like 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, because we have to get people cleared out who have, been eliminated. It just goes on for what feels like forever. And we're like, okay, no one is gonna finish this. Like no one's gonna get through this. And one person goes through, Tayo. I forget his number, but he makes it through. And honestly, it gives us all just like this big boost of hope. He's the only person that makes it through. He's the first person. That's it. And we're all so excited. We're like, okay, it can be done. We're going to get through this. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I'm still singing songs in my head every time we freeze. Like I'm singing Frank Ocean. I'm going through the whole catalog of Frank Ocean at this point. And when we get towards the end, I cannot feel my feet. I cannot feel below my knees. And I'm looking at the finish line. I'm like, okay, trying to estimate the distance. I'm like, this looks like it's at least 35 to 50 meters. I'm tired, I'm freezing, I'm hungry at this point. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to make this in one go. And we have another pause for medics. So we're standing there for like another 20 minutes and they say we can relax. So I'm talking to the people around me. I'm like, do you guys think we can make this in one go? Or like, should I try for two? They're like, just be smart, try to do it in two. Like, like there's a higher chance of getting eliminated if you move or if you don't make it. Because even if you cross the line, if you're in midair and she stops singing, you're eliminated. You have to touch the ground. You have to have 1 foot over the line, as they say. 1 foot over the line on the ground before she stops singing to be, qualified for the next round. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm getting so nervous. I'm like, girl, you are a track and field athlete. You know that you can run this in less than the 5 seconds that she's singing. But my feet are so cold and I don't even know what's happening. So I suck it up and I'm like, you know what? As soon as she turns her head around and I hear like the first crack of a song, I'm sprinting. So I decided that, but mind you, the round before me, a bunch of other people made it through. So that was the second round of people that made it through right before me. Second round, I want to say like 15 to 20 people made it through. They were like, all right, players, like we're just gonna hold you for the regular amount of time. Players behind the finish line, don't go anywhere because we still have to like adjudicate and make sure that you made it in time. Lo and behold, there was one woman who everyone's celebrating and then boom, her squid pack goes off and she gets eliminated. They said that she was not on the ground when the doll finished singing. She was still in the air. So I'm like, that's playing in my mind. All these things are playing in my mind, but I'm telling myself, you cannot make it 2 more rounds. You cannot freeze for 10 more minutes, 20 more minutes. You can't do it. Like, my legs are going to give out. It's literally the hardest thing I've ever done, because at this point it's been like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of playing the game that's supposed to be 5 minutes. So as soon as her head turns around and she starts singing, I take off. I literally, like, the perfect form. I see nothing but wall. I'm going, and I run straight into the wall. I don't even care. I'm like, take me out. Like, take me to the king. I need to have made this and be done with this game for today. And I did. I made it through. And then I look back and I see that some of my friends are still out there. The friends that I've made throughout the past 2 days or so. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm looking at them, I'm like, you got this. Like, you can do it, whatever. And then they make my group celebrate. Like, they take everyone to one side. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't move. My feet hurt. I really can't move right now. They take everyone else to one side and they have them celebrate on camera. Like, they're jumping up and down, doing all this stuff. They make them do it like 2 or 3 times. I'm just looking, I'm like, all these people are literally sitting here freezing, and they're getting discouraged because they see that we've crossed the line. We've made it, obviously. And that's just it's so messed up. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to take part in that. Like, I'm not doing it. And I'm cold. So, like, take me to the heaters, okay? So after that, I'm just telling people on my way out, I'm like, you're good. You got this. Like, I believe in you. You can do this. But I'm going to go get warm, okay? So that was pretty much the end of it. I go back to the tent, my assigned tent, take off the Squid pack, take off whatever else they need me to take off, the fake mic, whatever. I'm over it. I go to the bathroom. I come back. They have like little snacks for us. They give us our jackets, and we get put on a bus and taken back to the hotel. Now, I was the third group to cross. I was on a bus with Taya, who was the first one, the second group, and then my group was the third group. We go back to the hotel, and I don't know, we're there for hours before other people get there. Other people still had to finish. There was like a little under 2 minutes on the clock when I finished, so I have no idea how long it took them to finish. I was just praying the whole night. One, for food, because we didn't really have any food. The hotel, I guess, closed their food area. And they were like, yeah, we're going to get you pizza, we're going to get you this, you're going to get you that. I was tired. I was like, all right, I'm just going to get my provided underwear and provided socks from you guys. I'm going to go back to my room. I took a shower. I went to sleep. I was done. I was like, I'm tired. It was like 11 o'clock. So I don't know what time everybody else finished. I went to sleep. I woke up. They said they were going to give us a wake-up call in the morning. They did not give me one. I don't know if they gave everybody else one, but I did not get one. I just woke up because I was like, the amount of sleep I'm getting is suspicious. And then I woke up at like 7 a.m. and there was a McPlant and a side salad waiting at my door. I don't even know if they knocked or if they didn't knock. I was asleep. So did not care. I went to bed because I can't be hungry in my sleep. I just went to sleep. And yeah, that is a day I will never forget. It was the hardest thing I think I've ever done. Like, harder than like 10 400s workout, like, because you know when that's going to end. And you're usually not doing it in -6 degrees Celsius. So, it was just so hard. And usually when you're running or when you're doing some sport, you're moving so you can warm your body up. We were just standing there, freezing. But at the same time, everyone wanted to do it because you're going for a chance at life-changing money. It's not like, oh, you're just going to win like $1,000. No, you're going for $4.56 million. And no one's telling you to stay there. We would be happy if you left. Everybody would be so much happier if there were less people to go against. But no one wants to quit. So everyone's just like kind of giving it their all. And some people are giving it a little too much. They're passing out and they're getting medically eliminated. And it sucks. But me and the other people, the 198 that made it through, we were so excited. We were so happy. And that's something that no one can take away from us. We finished red light, green light. And now I'm happy that the press kind of shined a light on exactly what the conditions were, because it makes me feel like so much more of a badass for actually completing it and getting through it, because that's something I would have never been able to say that I could have done or even thought that I could have done. So I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the other 197 people that made it through. And that's my red light, green light story.